LongShot's Ranger Plus target camera system is more than a way to see what's going on out at your target. It lets you analyse your progress in real time, logging individual shots and groups, calculating group sizes, steering you into zeroing your sights and reducing the need to go and patch your targets all the time. It's also among the most affordable long-range target camera setups that you can buy, providing 900 metre plus range. The American company claims 1,000 yards. And it's good video reach for just $799. If you're only shooting to 100 metres or so, you can just buy the single Ranger camera unit and get an easy 100 metres plus for half the price. The Ranger Plus is a Wi-Fi system running 5G with a camera that you set up near your target to broadcast video back to a receiver that sits at your shooting position. By using your phone or tablet to hook into LongShot's Wi-Fi and operating it with the LongShot app, you get access not only to vision but a host of genuinely useful functions. The obvious first question is, does the Wi-Fi work that far out? Yes, it does. I set it up at 900 metres, which is 14 shy of 1,000 yards, and got clear signal, producing quality video all the way back to my smartphone. I took it to a genuine 1,000 metres and still got decent signal, but it was starting to break down by then. I hasten to add that I didn't shoot that far because it's beyond the combined abilities of both me and the rifles I've got at the moment, but I'm sure I could have in the right circumstances, given the success I had with the Ranger Plus at up to 400 metres with my Model 70 and 3006, which is a humble stalking rifle that I was only feeding factory ammo. Now there's a story in that, one worth going into because it puts the worth of the LongShot into perspective as a vital tool for hunters, as well as for those of us who love to shoot paper and steel. Now I was about to take the Winchester on a sandbar and red deer hunt, and I hadn't sighted it in and fitted a new scope. So I not only needed to work out its accuracy potential out to 400 metres, but I had to set up the ballistic turret of the Swarovski Z5 Plus scope that I just added. I chronographed the Federal factory ammo in the process while I was zeroing it, plugged in the data into a ballistic app, and set up the turret's colour-coded rings to match the 400 metre trajectory. Then I shot it at the specified ranges that I'd set the rings up for with the LongShot looking on. Turns out the ballistic program was wrong and my shots were wildly high compared to what I'd expected.
Right up there.
But using the camera, I saw instantly how far out I was and used only a handful of shots to get on zero at each of the distances I'd recorded. I didn't have to budge from behind the rifle except to move the camera and target out to the next distance. The camera was vastly superior to a spotting scope too. No heat haze to worry about, and increasing distances didn't make bullet holes appear smaller and smaller until they vanished. In fact, I didn't even bother with a spotting scope. Maybe your money's better spent on the LongShot, which shows your hits as clearly as if you were sitting there at the target, even when you're 900 metres away. The upshot was, I realised that with this ammo in this rifle, it wasn't an ideal match for long-range shooting, but my shots could still hit minute of sandbar at up to 300 metres and a bit more, and so for the upcoming hunt, it was going to be fine. Most of my use of the LongShot was for shooting at 100 metres to check the accuracy and to zero in rifles. For that, I could test the camera in simple Ranger mode on its own, just the camera, no receiver, but I also use the receiver at that distance and longer distances, so you can take all of the comments in this video as being relevant to the Ranger and the Ranger Plus combo. The first step in setting up is placing the camera, and LongShot makes that easy with the inbuilt folding legs that come attached to each unit, but there's also a thread in the bottom that you can attach a tripod to. My 100 metre target is set high and my longer range targets are placed on a steep hillside, so in both cases I use a lightweight tripod. Because the camera has a fixed focus, it needs to be set up at roughly between 2 and 7 metres from the target, so you get a clear picture, and just far enough beside or below the line of sight so you're not going to shoot your camera. If you do shoot the camera, LongShot covers it under warranty, which is really nice to know, but of course you want to avoid hearing it anyway because breaking a camera is going to end your day. Connect your smartphone to the camera's Wi-Fi, open the LongShot app, and you can see the picture that's being captured up near the target. The camera's lens sits on a ball mount, so once you've placed the box, you can then fine-tune the framing by manipulating the lens angle, up, down, left and right on a gimbal. It's another neat solution. Leave the camera switched on at the target and go back to your shooting position. If you're shooting from near enough, you can stay connected directly to the camera, but if not, when you get there, switch to the receiver's Wi-Fi and you'll find that it has automatically picked up the signal that's coming from the camera. Now you can start throwing bullets down range and see the shots as you shoot happening on screen. But if you want to make the most of the LongShot's capabilities, I'd suggest that you get set up properly in the app first. Set up a grid in the calculator or measurements menu, which gives you and the app a reference for group sizes. Key in the distance that you are from the target, a reference distance or width based on 2 known points on the target, and this will make sense in a minute, and then the measures that you want to use, be they minutes of angle, inches, centimetres and so on. Then use your fingers on the screen to tap the 2 reference points I mentioned a second ago. Now with those 2, the app knows what it's measuring. Indicate your point of aim and you're done. The system's accuracy will depend a bit on how precisely your fingertip plots the points, as well as to some degree on how far off your shooting line you've positioned the camera. It's not hard to get a very good indication of how well you're shooting, but if perfect measurements are required, then you'll have to physically measure the targets after you've finished shooting to get the really accurate measurements of the groups. The way I had it set up, I was always a fraction of an MOA out, but I was satisfied with the comparative data that I was getting for all of my groups. As you take your shots, you can make the app flash each one as you go. Keep a record of each shot by tapping the screen at the point of impact. The app will measure the group size, show the group centre, and tell you how far from your point of aim it's hitting, which really then helps you get on zero. When you've finished a group, set a new colour and start marking the next one. You can add notes to each group as you progress, and because you mark each shot as you go, you can use the same target and shoot it full of holes without having to constantly go and patch it. There's no database in the app, but you can keep a visual record of your performance by taking photos or videos of the screen and the shooting and key in the data to your own records later on if you like. The image quality is spot on, genuine full high definition, and this means you can zoom in and get precise detail. Sending images to your computer is easy. Just open the gallery in the app, select the images you want, hit the upload button, choose a sending method and/or destination, and away they go. It's all very easy and very useful. After my first couple of sessions with the Ranger Plus, I was already in the habit of relying on it to help me quickly zero in, compare the accuracy of different loads, prove trajectories over longer distances and gather data. It was fun too, using it. Another good point about having a live feed to your target is that you can see shot by shot the effects of distance, wind, of canting your rifle, or if you're aware of doing it, things like flinching or pulling shots. And there's a selfie mode so you can actually see yourself doing that. The LongShot didn't go perfectly. One day I had trouble staying connected properly from several hundred metres away, and it was for reasons that I couldn't put my finger on. Line of sight was clear, the battery was charged, nothing seemed abnormal, but it was only the once that it did it. On the other hand, I often found that the camera alone could transmit direct to my phone reliably from more than 200 metres away, so you know there's plenty of leeway built into it. The camera's battery is the crucial one of the two when you're using the Ranger Plus system. Not only does this one sit downrange all day where you can't easily turn it on and off to preserve power, but it uses more power because it's the one doing the transmission of data. LongShot claims you'll get up to 6 hours runtime, and that seems about right in my experience. I tried it only for that long once and it certainly got to about 6 hours. The batteries are built into each unit, so it'd pay to have a means of charging them if you're going to stay out for a long day. There are bigger, flasher, longer reaching target cameras available, but what the Ranger Plus does is bring the price down to a much more affordable level, yet it still produces quality results with an app that's simple to use and gives you the info you need, as well as a bit more that's nice to know. You can get by with the cheaper Ranger camera alone at 100 metres or so and go all the way past 900 metres with the Ranger Plus combo. The LongShot will not only take the back and forth travel out of a day at the range, it'll speed up your sighting in, your load development and your data gathering. Its value on a shooting range is obvious, as well as to anyone who regularly shoots long distances or just wants to learn how to do it well. I'd add that it's a very handy tool for reloaders who love tinkering with new loads all the time, and it's a nearly essential one for any hunter who's serious about shooting accurately beyond their rifle's point blank range.